Clean eating myths that sabotage your weight loss versus calorie deficit. Everyone's telling you to eat clean to lose weight, but what if that's not the whole truth? You have probably noticed that you can eat all the healthy foods in the world and still not see the results you want. In today's video, we're going to uncover the hidden truth behind the clean eating myth, and we'll reveal the one factor that actually controls fat loss. Losing weight is way simpler than you think. By the end of this video, you'll be able to enjoy the foods you love and still burn fat and finally start seeing real progress. You don't want to miss this. As always, this video is educational and does not constitute medical advice. The myth: clean eating equals guaranteed fat loss. Clean eating alone is not the golden ticket to fat loss. Surprised? Let's break it down. Fat loss comes down to one simple, unbreakable rule: calories in versus calories out. You've got to burn more calories than you take in. This is what we call a calorie deficit, and it's the only way your body will start burning through stored fat. It doesn't matter if your calories come from broccoli or brownies. If you're not in a calorie deficit, that fat's staying put. Now, don't get me wrong. Eating whole, nutritious foods is awesome for your overall health. But when it comes to fat loss, it's all about the numbers. Here's an example. You could have the cleanest diet in the world, loaded with avocados, nuts, quinoa, and green smoothies. Sounds perfect, right? But if those clean foods are adding up to more calories than your body needs, you're not going to lose weight. Period. Let's think about it this way. A handful of almonds, super healthy, packed with nutrients, and high in calories. Same with things like olive oil or avocado. Fantastic for your heart, but it's easy to eat more calories than you realize. So, clean eating can help you feel healthier, but if you're not keeping an eye on your overall intake, you might be wondering why the fat isn't budging. And here's where the frustration starts. People think they're doing everything right, eating all the good foods, and still not seeing results. But don't worry, we're going to dive deeper into how energy balance really works, and how you can still enjoy all kinds of foods, yes, even the occasional junk food, while losing fat, as long as you stay in a calorie deficit. Coming up next, we'll show you exactly how to make that happen, and why a calorie deficit is the real secret you've been missing out on. Stay tuned, because this is where things start to make sense. By the way, if you find this tip useful, check out the quiz below to discover the best personalized wellness solution for you in just 60 seconds. Calorie deficit, the real key to fat loss. So, what exactly is a calorie deficit, and why is it so important? Let's break it down. Your body is like a bank account. Calories are your currency, and every day, your body spends a certain amount of those calories just to keep you alive, breathing, digesting, even thinking. Then, on top of that, you burn more calories through physical activity, whether you're working out or just running errands. Now, if you eat more calories than you burn, guess what? Your body stores those extra calories as fat, kind of like saving money. But if you eat less than your body needs, it has no choice but to dip into those fat savings to make up the difference. That's the calorie deficit. Simple, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. You can achieve a calorie deficit while still enjoying foods you love, even the ones that aren't considered clean. You could technically eat pizza or dessert every day, and as long as you're in a calorie deficit, you'll still lose fat. Now, we're not saying you should eat pizza all day every day, but the point is, the type of food isn't as important as the total amount of food you're eating. But here's an important balance to remember. While calories are king for fat loss, you also want to choose foods with good nutrients. A healthy, balanced diet is about more than just hitting calorie targets. It's about fueling your body with foods rich in vitamins, minerals, and protein to support overall health. So yes, keep an eye on calories, but don't let that stop you from picking nutrient-dense options that help you feel your best. It's funny, because people often think the cleaner their diet, the faster the fat loss. But the reality is, if you're not in a calorie deficit, Even the cleanest diet won't make the scale move. Clean eating without a deficit, no fat loss. Flexible eating with a deficit, fat loss guaranteed. And here's the best part. When you focus on maintaining a calorie deficit, rather than obsessing over specific foods, you open up a world of flexibility. You don't have to say goodbye to your favorite foods forever. Instead, you learn how to fit them into your overall intake and still see progress. But how do you find the right calorie deficit for you? That's exactly what we're covering next. How to create a sustainable calorie deficit and how to enjoy the foods you love while still hitting your fat loss goals. Stick around for our best tips for calorie deficit. You don't want to miss this. By the way, if you find this tip useful, check out the quiz below to discover the best personalized wellness solution for you in just 60 seconds. Practical tips. How to achieve a calorie deficit. Now that we've debunked the myth of clean eating, let's get into the real stuff. How you can actually achieve a calorie deficit in a way that's sustainable and doesn't make you feel like you're giving up everything you love. Because, let's be honest, nobody wants to feel deprived. And the good news is, you don't have to. Here are 4 super practical tips to help you create and maintain a calorie deficit without going crazy. And remember, these are strategies you can actually stick to long term. Tip number 1, prioritize protein intake. Here's a game changer, prioritizing protein. Not only does protein help you feel fuller for longer, which keeps those snack cravings at bay, but it also supports your muscle mass. And more muscle means you burn more calories, even when you're not doing anything. So whether you're enjoying a grilled chicken salad, a tofu stir-fry, or even just a protein shake, getting enough protein in your meals can make a huge difference in staying full and on track with your calorie deficit. Tip number 2, focus on whole foods, but don't demonize any specific food groups. Finally, it's important to focus on nutrient-dense, whole foods, but, and this is a big but, don't fall into the trap of demonizing any particular food group. Yes, whole grains, veggies, fruits, and healthy fats should make up the majority of your diet. But that doesn't mean you can't enjoy a little chocolate, pizza, or a burger when it fits into your overall calorie intake. It's all about balance. Remember, the foods you love don't have to be off limits. They just need to fit into the bigger picture. Tip number 3, increase physical activity. Here's where things get exciting. Moving your body naturally increases the calorie deficit without having to cut your favorite foods. You don't need to hit the gym for hours either. Walking, taking the stairs, or even doing something fun like dancing all counts. The more active you are, the bigger the gap between the calories you consume and the calories you burn, meaning more fat loss, without restricting yourself too much. So next time you're tempted to overcomplicate things, just remember, more movement, more fat burning. Tip number 4, use portion control or track calories occasionally. You don't need to be glued to a calorie tracking app 24/7, but being aware of your intake is key. One of the simplest ways to do this? Portion control. By keeping an eye on your portion sizes, whether it's using a smaller plate or just being mindful of how much you're serving yourself, you can stay within your calorie goals without feeling like you're missing out. If you're curious about how many calories you're really consuming, track your meals for a few days using an app. It's a great reality check. But remember, it's not about being obsessive. It's about being aware. Imagine this, a meal with brown rice, avocado, and chicken, all very clean. Now, picture a meal with a small slice of pizza, a side salad, and a piece of fruit. Both meals can have the same amount of calories and help you stay in a deficit. The key isn't whether the meal is clean or not, it's the total calories that count. Check out this next video about calorie deficit and wellness, and we'll see you there.